What is going on, guys? I'm Watch Go, and today we're here with the Rampage. And I mean, in the vein of the last video, it seems like we've been having a lot of spark plug issues lately. So this has a little bit of a misfire. I've got a new set of plugs for it. We're gonna change those real quick, and then we're gonna put it on a dyno and see what kind of power she makes. Originally, we were expecting about 150 horsepower because, you know, that's what this thing made when the 2.2 turbo was newish. And this one has a mild cam in it, so I can't wait to see. If it makes 150 on the dyno, I would be so happy. So I'm gonna change the plugs real quick. We're gonna drive across town, and then we're gonna answer the question everybody wants to know. How much power does it make? As you can see, there's quite a bit of oil around the valve cover as well. I've got a new valve cover gasket. I just don't have time to do it right this second before we head to the dyno. So I'm gonna change the valve cover gasket tonight. Right now, we're just gonna change the plugs. I thought it had Excel wires on it, but it looks like they're just yellow wires. Let's see, I don't see any Excel branding, so, it's just a yellow set of wires. Well, this shouldn't take long at all. And of course, we couldn't have a normal 5/8 spark plug socket for the Rampage. It takes a 13/16. So, I had to go dig up that socket. Gap on the new plugs is 030. It may be a little bit bigger than that. That looks good to me. We'll try it out. All right, plugs done. The plugs were the NGK BPR 4ES. That's what I changed it up to. It's a copper plug. We got rid of the platinums. You know, it's a turbo application. I'm used to switching plugs pretty often in turbo applications, but you know, a lot of people run platinums and say they run forever. A good tip when you're heading to the dyno to talk to your tuner, take the old plugs with you if you're gonna change them, let him read them. That way he can get a good idea of what's going on. Of course, that took longer than I thought, like everything does, and he called me a second ago and says, hey, are you still on your way? Yeah, man, I'm coming. Sorry, I wanted to change these real fast to make sure there weren't any misfires on the way. Oh, this thing drives so much better now. It is a massive improvement. All right, we'll come up on boost, no misfires. There we go, there's about 8 pounds, 10 pounds, and it just climbs through the mile per hour. So much better. The plugs were the fix for that. Wichita Dyno, Chris is gonna do his thing. All right, Chris, what do you think about these? These are the plugs that just came out of it. It was misfiring pretty badly.
Oh yeah, this would be part of it right here. Bosch Platinums.
Bosch Platinum. That's the weirdest electrode I've ever seen. What? So I put NGK coppers in it with, and they're gapped at 030.
It's fine.
So.
How much boost is it making?
So it'll make about 10, and then the computer is fuel cutting a little over 10. So I just kind of hold the boost gauge at 10, and it does its thing. It makes nice hard pulls, but I definitely need to figure out the wastegate at some point.
What the hell volt pattern is that?
Cute little thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
5x100 probably. 5x115.
Well.
Yep. Oh well.
Let's jump in. I'll let you back her out.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Buddy. No problem.
It was worth a shot.
About that.
Oh, no problem at all. Well, we have been thwarted by the chassis dyno. Chris used to have an old roller dyno. I think he said it was Dyno Dynamics was his old one. And now he's on a chassis dyno because he was spinning the tires on some of the race cars that they tune. So yeah, he switched to a chassis dyno and doesn't have the 5x115 bolt pattern adapters for this truck. So we couldn't get it on the dyno. Took a look at it. He said it was probably the plugs that were causing the old problems because honestly, what a weird electrode on a plug. And those plugs were probably shot. So I'm glad I've got some new NGKs on it. It's running way better today. And now it's time to head back to the house and see what we're gonna do about that valve cover. All right, so I'm out with Lamborghini and we are gonna go get the valve cover gasket for the Rampage. It's definitely time to fix that little oil seepage we've got from those old cork gaskets. Are you excited about this AutoZone trip? AutoZone's the only place that had the gasket in stock, so we had to go with them. Or at least could get it, but it was gonna be another day. The AutoZone bonuses, they're open till like midnight, so it's already 10. We're gonna get this work done tonight. All right, we got the new gasket. I'm gonna tell you all about this gasket and why we are using this instead of the cork one that everybody recommends and is the proper one for the truck. You'll hear about that in a second. This is the recommended one for the 2.2 turbo at 85. And this is the VS50 257C. Another Felpro gasket, and O'Reilly's opened it up, so I guess I'm not worried about this. But let's see, we've got the cork gaskets, and then we have these rubber seals that go on the end. And the cork gaskets, I'm sure, are what's on this right now, and they leak like a sieve. So I hopped on the forums and I started looking around, and what I found is if you switch your vehicle selection to the 89 Daytona with the 2.2 or the 2.5, they're both turbos, and you get this VS50334R. And this gasket, I'm so excited about this. It is a real gasket. There we go, we've got a nice rubber gasket that is not going to leak one bit. And this should fit, the forum said it fits, so I can't wait. We're gonna get the leaky cork gaskets off the engine real quick, put this on, and it's gonna be awesome. No more leaks. So let's get to it. This one's going back. Sorry, O'Reilly's, I know you had to order this one too. That one was like beyond less than finger tight. I just like touched it and it was loose. All right, well these ones are all tight. So far so good. Let's grab an extension so I can get in there, and a ratchet. I can't find my 3/8 ratchet anywhere. Okay, let's get these valve cover bolts off here. Shouldn't take long at all to get these changed out. From what I've seen, we just need to pull the vacuum hose off right there, and I kind of moved the spark plug wire off of that cover, so the rest of this should only take a few seconds. These bolts are well lubricated too because they are absolutely soaked in oil from all the leaking out of this cork gasket. And here comes our vacuum line. That's looking good. Just like that. Wow, there's oil everywhere. I don't even think there's a gasket. I don't think this has one bit of gasket. It's just RTV. Well, time to do some cleaning. I'm gonna scrape all the old gasket material off, get it all out of these races where I'm gonna put in the nice new gasket, and then I'll get back to you guys. I'm not gonna scrape it off on camera because there's really no reason for that. You know how to scrape off gasket material.
2 hours later.
We've got our mating surfaces all cleaned up. That took 18,000 times longer than we expected it to because of course I had to get in there with, you know, razor blade and my fingernail and everything I could to get that gasket material off without dropping any of this silicone back into the engine. All right, there was no way I was getting this gasket lined up and on without putting some kind of adhesive on it. So I stuck a few little hits of right stuff on here and laid it in here where of course it's coming up. I really didn't use much because I'm trying to not put a lot on because the rubber gasket should do all the sealing by itself just fine. So I was trying to take it easy on the right stuff, but we're gonna get this all in here lined up and the gasket in its grooves and stab it real quick. I think we're making good progress now. It's basically on there. It feels nice and solid. I'm gonna get the torque spec, tighten down the valve cover bolts, and put on these weirder outside ones that have integrated covers and stuff like that, and we should be good to go. We're just putting a little bit of torque on it as I run around it. Make sure everything gets tightened down nice and evenly. Starting with the four corners. Honestly, this might be too much. I've got it set to 90 inch-pounds, which is slightly less than the factory spec. But it's taken a while, so we're gonna switch back to the normal ratchet, tighten everything down by hand until we think it's good. Oh yeah, it's pretty loose. Very loose. I'd recommend just tightening these by hand. Don't worry about getting them tight with a torque wrench or anything like that. Yeah. More than enough torque on all those, I would say. And also, I read you have to be careful not to crack this thing. So we're gonna stop there, put all the plastics back on and test it out. And we are done. It's finally all wrapped up. I got all the bolts back in. I don't expect it to leak anymore. We haven't had time to test it out yet. So We'll get back to the test soon. I guess tomorrow I'll drive it for the first time since the new valve cover gasket went on. And hopefully there's no more leaks. I gotta get everything clean so I can tell if there's leaks. Oil is everywhere on this engine, all over the head. I'm excited. I hope it doesn't leak. And today has been full of surprises. We couldn't dyno it. Plugs were bad. Those Bosch Platinum plugs didn't look great. At least, you know, the misfire is gone and it's running really well. And we'll have to try again another day for a dyno. We'll need a chassis dyno that has 5x115 adapters or a roller dyno, that'd probably be ideal for this. It's not like it makes crazy horsepower. So that is it for today, guys. Please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time.